Hey there, I'm Shelby, your mixologist geek, and today in this video I'm actually going to be reviewing some drinks of cheap gin. Gin is probably one of my favorite liquors to drink. I don't drink it all that often, so this is actually going to be the first time I've done this in a long time. But I figured I would just kind of rate some of the cheap gins that I at least have available where I live, and just kind of give you kind of like what flavor tastes good, you know, what is actually probably the best one, so that you're, you know, if you're wanting a good gin but you don't want to pay a whole lot of money for it, you know, this is kind of the video to watch for that. So right now, I'm just gonna pour these drinks. This one is called Lollard's Gin. It's actually local to the state that I live in right now, in Indiana. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit. I'm not gonna have a full shot. I'm never gonna drink the whole thing. And this is also just Caliber, another cheap gin, London Dry gin. Get that poured. And then this is Dimitri, it's just another cheap London Dry. So I'm going to drink it in the order, because I've already had these before, and I'm going to drink it in the order that from worst to me to the best for it. So I'm actually going to start here with the Lollard's Gin. Yes, it's local, but it's not a London Dry, so it's very bitter for a gin. It tastes decent for just a straight up gin, but it's not a London Dry. Honestly, burns while going down my throat, so that's the reason why I'm like, and so this one, the Caliber one, this is actually a new one for us. We hadn't really found it before. We just went over to one of the supermarkets around here and we just purchased this. And it was actually not too bad, but clearly not the most favorite of mine. I like the aroma of this one. Yeah, it doesn't, you know, I should probably, you know, had some crackers or whatever, but that one is actually not too bad for a cheap gin, and I think it's cheaper than this one, only by like $1 or $2. And you notice these are big bottles. Most of these are ranging anywhere from like $10 to $15. So that one is the mid-range. I think this was actually one of the cheapest ones. Don't like it. This is actually not too bad. I would say if you're gonna like go for mixing, this one would be fine, as well as this one, and which I'll try this one next. That has just a lot more smooth texture to it. It's not as it doesn't have a lot of bite to it right when you drink it. So if you're making something that has like smooth textures in it, you know, with orange juice or anything like that, because there's a lot of gin drinks that come with like the mix with orange juice, this would probably be pretty good with it. This would probably be your good midline mix with anything, everything, a good mixed drink. And the Lollards, honestly, it's, if you like a whole lot of bite and just, I don't know, like a punch in the face kind of flavor with it, and it's just like the alcoholic content. I mean, they're all the same alcoholic content, but this one just seems to hit a lot harder than these two. And I mean, comparing these between the two ends, you know, it's completely different, but this is also not a London Dry. This is just your generic gin. These are going to be your London Dries. I feel that London Dries are just better for mixing because of their smoothness. I think this is probably the most bitter. This is probably the second most bitter in the next video. Second most bitter London Dry that I've ever had. But all of the London Dries that I generally drink, they're great. They have the smooth flavor. You can't really go wrong with them. They're great in mixed drinks. They're great in martinis. So, you know, just kind of explore on your own, but these are just the three that I had available to me. So the Lollard's Gin, the Caliber London Dry, and the Dimitri London Dry. Dimitri won out for me as far as the cheap gin goes. So if you like this video, please give it a like and also subscribe to my channel. In the description below, I'm going to be just kind of putting the three brands that I reviewed today in the video, and I will also put the links for you to subscribe or like or follow my channels of Twitch, Facebook, or Instagram. So just give all those a follow if you want to keep up with me on other stuff. But just as always, drink responsibly, but have fun. Cheers.